Welcome to Windmill 2019 here in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, for this round 2 men's division coverage. I'm Devon, joined here by Hillary Humes, and we have the Heidees in red from Germany against Devon in white. Hi, Hillary. How's your day been going so far?
It's been fantastic. I've been watching lots of ultimate, mixed, women's, and opens. Yourself, Ravi, playing as well as commentating.
Yes, playing in the mixed division, commentating the single gender rounds. As here we see Devon starting things off with some good movement and a little bit of an overpass there, but able to hold on to it. Heidees playing person-to-person defense. Low grab there. Cockcroft throws the disc and gets a nice, easy score for Jake Warren, but I think it's going to come back on a pick call from ages ago.
It looked like a very suspicious play there, as you saw the entire teams had just kind of stopped momentum, and that goal almost seemed too easy.
When it seems too easy, it often is. Hillary, what do you know about these teams and their standings and what they're kind of playing for right now?
So this is quite a clutch moment early on in the day. At the moment, we've got both teams have just lost their first round game, both going, I think the scores were exactly the same, 15-10, if I recall correctly. So Devon is 15 on the ladder and Heidees 14. So this is quite a pivotal game for them, because this will determine what happens next.
The format for this tournament is 5 rounds of Swiss draw, so you got to score as many points as you can. Here's a big throw, and that's a big grab from number 11, Robin Cockcroft, for Devon to get a hold on the board.
Just a beautiful grab there from Devon, taking it out of the air.
And like you were saying earlier, this is Swiss draw format, so the first 5 rounds of this tournament, everybody is even, and you have to play for every point that you can. You move up depending on how good you are and how good your opponents were. So like you said, when you're down 5 points in the first game, you got to keep fighting to claw your way back up. After 5 rounds, you have to get in the top 8 if you want to end up in the quarterfinals. Otherwise, you play Swiss draw out. As we see Devon there hold on to things in this first point. A little bit dodgy, a little bit of low passes, but they managed to hold on to everything. Clean, no turnovers. And we'll have to see what the Heidees do here for their first offensive point. Both of these teams have done well internationally before. Devon attended the World Ultimate Club Championships last year in Cincinnati. Heidees' perennial team at the EUCF tournament. Heidees have been at the Windmill final before, and we're going to see Hans Tiro there on the field for Heidees. He's taking the field now. He's been playing this game forever. They call him the master of time itself. I think he's over 40 and still playing elite in the men's division as he takes the disc for the Heidees as they start off in a vertical stack. Good movement, back to Tiro. Inside pass to Merker. Big shot up. And it's not going to be read. Heroic bid attempt there from, I believe that's Lars Liebli. And Devon are going to get a chance for a break early on. Devon also starting in a vertical stack off this play, and a big shot goes up. Tiro's behind it. Oh, can't get there. As Greg Mann gets the disc. Swings it over back to Cockcroft, who made a great grab in the last point. Now looking to be a thrower. Big hammer goes up. And that, oh, just a great D there from Heidees, forcing his player to go up early.
Sort of feels like Devon's forcing a few throws, though, at the moment. That hammer throw over the top, they didn't have players in position, and they were throwing behind them, which is tricky to get into space to get that disc down.
So that's unfortunate. Devon squandering a chance for a break as Heidees try to get their second attempt at a hold here. Tiro with the disc. Devon doing a great job of shutting down all the undercuts. Tiro does not like what he sees. He's been holding on to the disc for a long time at this point. Gets it over to Lux, an 18-year-old. So there's a very big age difference there between Tiro and Lux. Nice swing across. Patient movement, but they're not able to get upfield. Still back in their own defending end zone after 5 or 6 passes. Still haven't managed to get up the field, but in the safe hands of Tiro. There's a big blade.
And they call it out.
And that's called out. Kitchen not able to grip his toes in on that one. As Devon will have a short field to work with as they have their second opportunity for a break here in this game. That's a big arcing flick, and that's going to be out the side there. Not the best option for Phil Taylor.
Again, just forcing too much. Just something that wasn't just quite right. They had the time to set up and perhaps even get a reset, dump into a power position, and shoot down the line. So Heidees back with the disc now.
But I have to say, Heidees did not have many options this last offensive drive. Still doing a great job of making sure Devon doesn't score, but they're going to have to find a way to move upfield as Devon's defense is basically stifling them. Hans Tiro now with the disc again, looking for options. Gets it off to Lux again. Oh, nice attempt, almost to Callahan there. As Renzel dishes the disc off. Back up to Tiro. He has to lay out for it. Called in. There's a big gainer, but there is a call on the play. There was I believe, a pick call, but he's saying that it did not affect that reception, just making up space. Big arcing throw back to Tiro. Heidees are gonna have to stretch the field here if they want to get any options open. Devon is not really respecting their deep options and totally shutting down their unders every way. As here they try to stretch it. Is he gonna make it? There's a bid, and he gets a hand on it, but it's not there.
That was an impressive defensive play by Chris Red, number 9 on the Devon team. He was hip to hip with his Heidees opponent. And that's the type of pressure that you need in these games. Like, you may not get that disc, but if you just stick with him, you're going to apply added amounts of pressure, and that's where things can turn. And
we saw Phil Kitchen there get his hand on it. It might have been that pressure that was indeed what stopped him from catching that disc. As now Devon have the full field to work with. A little bit of sloppiness from both teams so far at this point. Devon's offensive line was definitely much cleaner than Heidees been able to do, and the Devon D-line have been able to do. Big arcing throw over to Greg Mann. Disc now recentered to the sideline. A little bit of a wrapping mark there from the Heidees, called off by Devon. A round throw over to Cockcroft. Nice find there by Cockcroft. This is looking a bit better from the Devon D-line offense, taking easier shots to open spaces. There's a bit of miscommunication, but Devon able to hold on to it. Up the line pass. Heidees doing a great job defending the end zone as there, Devon find with the kick spike the score and make it 2-0 for a break for the boys in white.
Well, Devon just playing it safe, finding those high advantage shots, waiting for that player to come in. They were not doing anything too exciting or technical there. I think it was very choreographed. They were just waiting for that thing to happen, and so they get it. So Heidees down 2 early in this game.
Yeah, I think exactly for what you said there. I think Devon's advantage here is on physicality. You saw them completely shutting down Heidees' looks on defense, which shows that they are a bit more strong on that sense. And in the previous 2 defensive 0-point drives, they tried to win it with a big throw. But I think if they had the legs, they don't need to do that. They have to take the safe, easy options, and that's what they were able to do on that last point. What are Heidees going to be able to do to clean things up here? They've completely shifted lines. That was a very long point, so now this is not their traditional offensive line as they try to make their second attempt at an offensive point here. Hope to get some more success. Nice around break. A little bit of contact there in the middle of the field. There is a pick called, or a push-off foul was called. Claiming that Julio Guerres pushed off before making that cut. That's why he was able to get so free. Heidees very impressive with their around backhand break so far, but that to me is a signal of good throwing, but also a signal that they're not able to get open on the open side.
They're just sort of sticking with one sort of thing at the moment, and I think they need to mix it up a little bit because Devon will start to recognize this and shut those things down. Huge block by Jake Warren in the number 7 shirt.
Devon are going to get another short field to work with as Chris Red picks up the disc. Vertical stack by Devon. There's a pick called. A little bit of a clustered stack there. Chris Red will pretty much have a full stall count to work with now. Nice around break. Over to O'Sullivan. Sullivan back to Red. Red gets it around to Coward. And that is a cheeky little throw on the sideline. Maybe not the safest option, but Jake Warren getting the bookends there. The big D and the score as Devon go up 3-0.
You just got to use what you get, and if that's the opportunity that you want to throw, just throw it. It's interesting, though, I see Devon. I didn't think that they were set up deep enough in that end zone. What did you think, Ravi?
Yeah, well, I think what their play there was a kind of, some people call it the Moses play or something like that, where the front two of the stack, one cuts open side, one cuts break side, and they try to have one come under. And so that's why they kind of set up near the front of the stack to give that be an easy pass. But Heidees read it really well and shut that down that play, and eventually they had to work it around. Definitely had to score outside of the playbook on that one.
Yeah, I think they recognized that it wasn't working, and then they just had to swing and do whatever they could to make it work. But they certainly do. They're now 3-0 up.
And the Heidees are going to have to change something up here. They're going to have to stretch the field long. Without that, Devon just has the athleticism on them and is going to shut down every undercut. Devon, I believe, missing 1 or 2 players to the GB Open squad, who's also here this weekend, but still have a nice, powerful team.
I think they're actually missing one of their captains, which could be quite key to the team vibe or just the mental sort of strength of the team. We'll see how that affects them in this entire game.
Has not stopped their defensive intensity so far. As we see there, every disc is contested as Lush there gets the disc on the sideline, the 18-year-old jamming it up the sideline to another Lush, maybe they're brothers. He's 15 years old, and there Devon are able to get the turn as the youth from the Heidees are not enough. That's a big throw, but I think it's going to be a bit too far. Oh, what a heroic bid.
Almost there. That was just so close. I think he might have even got fingertips to it. If he had just stretched out or grown a couple inches earlier in his puberty life, he might have actually gotten there.
But Greg Mann not able to hold on to that one, and Heidees will get another chance as one of the Luch brothers taps it in. Disc is over to Yonkers, and that disc is to the wrong team as Devon going to go the other way now. Seeing if they can take it easy. Again, those long, complicated shots, big shots, is not what Devon needs to do. They have the winning on the legs, and that's going to be a big shot and caught easily by Robin Cockcroft. His second goal for him this game, and Devon go up 4-0. I think we might have a quick one here, Hillary.
I think you're right, Ravi. That was caught on the chalk mark line down in that deep part of the end zone. Heidees calling a timeout, and rightfully so. They're 4-0 down. Things need to change here. They don't have time to waste. These are short games.
And not just short games, these are Swiss draw games, so every point counts. Even if they can make it a smaller deficit than it would be otherwise, even if, let's say, they could get 15-7 instead of 15-2, that could be a big difference maker on their final ranking in this tournament. Every point counts here in Windmill, and they have to figure out a way to get things changing. But what would you be telling the team right now? I mean, so far, to me, they're just not getting good options on offense.
Yeah, I would say don't try and force anything. I think what they're doing is they're just looking for that first person and going, I'm going to pump it out. And that's where Devon is picking up those easy intercepts because they're capturing that space. They're guarding it. They've got it down. I suppose the other thing is, like, their cutting could be a little bit more dynamic. They could be going deep and up the line and looking for, like, providing 2 options every single time, even if it's not, one's not on. What about yourself, Ravi? Would you give any words of advice to the Heidees team?
Yeah, I think, as I've said a few times here, we got to stretch the field, like you said, make those cuts deep and then long, and that deep has to be a real option. They have to make just not a cut that they're just making to make an undercut. They have to go deep for real, because if they're only going to succeed on undercuts, they're not going to be able to succeed against Devon. And if they can get one deep pass off, which they've been close to one of those times, but there was still good defensive pressure by Devon, then Devon will have to respect that deep option a bit more, and maybe that'll open up the unders later on in the game. But right now, I think Devon are just saying, we have them athletically, stop the unders, and we'll put pressure on the deeps. They got to get a deep throw off, and that's what I'd be telling the team. And also work the break side, because they've had some very impressive break throws. They know they're a bit less fit than Devon at this point, so they're going to have to win on their throws and win with intelligent cuts. We'll see if they can adapt here as we see Hans Tiro getting back out there on the line for Heidees. after the youthful Lux brothers getting out there and trying to run things in the previous point, putting a bit more experience here on this one.
Ravi, you make a good point about the intelligent cuts that you take. You don't have to be as fit as the other team, you just need to be smart about the moves that you make.
That disc goes out as Tiro will take it at the brick mark. And the sun is coming out, Hillary. Last round was a bit rainy, a bit wet. I had to play in the clouds and the rain, and now getting out. I'd much rather play in the rain and commentate in the sun if I have the option, so I'm happy with how things have gone so far.
I am certainly in agreement with you, Ravi. I was actually off the last game, so I was able to watch some of the mixed play. Quite enjoyed it, but the sun has come out and it is absolutely beautiful.
Heidees now are stretching the field, and if they can make this one count, but no, there's two Devon players there. Nice sandwich defense as there is no call, and that one's going to be a turnover. There seems to be a bit of conversation going on, as he's claiming, I think, that he got ran into and maybe stopped his jump. Ben Donahue trying to claim that he got up and made a clean D. So far, not agreement. Discussion between the players, and I believe it's a retracted foul call, so it will be a turn, and Devon will get another chance for a break. To my eyes, that was the right call. I think he was sandwiched by two Devon defenders, and there might have been some contact on the way down or something, but I don't think it really affected how the outcome of that play was. And we'll see. Devon has another chance here.
Agreed. They had boxed the player out perfectly, both in front and behind. He had no other option but to go up vertically.
So Chris Red dishes it off to Greg Mann. Nice little dishy pass also again to Cockcroft. Big huck. Mike O'Sullivan gets his fingertips on it but can't reel it in.
Tries to hit it up like a volleyball in the air, but that's not quite the way to catch a disc.
There is some contact, some discussion here again. On the grab, there was no contact. Maybe before he got there or something. It's a turnover, so I'm not sure exactly what the call was, but Heidees will get their chance again. I do like that look Heidees did. They tried to throw that one deep, but Devon were good to get under it. They have to make those deep shots a bit harder and a bit faster. Floaty discs are not going to be in their favor. They don't have too much of a height advantage, and they don't have a speed advantage. It's got to be precision hucks that will win them this game. Tiro dishes it off. That's a heroic grab there from the Heidees player. Over to Kitchen. Kitchen gets it to Nistros. Now on the sideline. Nice stagnant play. Way to find that poach and punish it. Now this is in Tiro's hand. He fakes the huck. Nice movement here from Heidees. This is a lot better than what we've seen so far this game. Big around play, and that's going to be called back on a pick. Dominic Yockers with the disc now. Guarded by Ben Donahue. A little bit of discussion on the stall. Big swing to Tiro. Gets the disc up to Moritz Hartig. Nice inside pass. Is he in? He's not in yet. On the goal step, though. Back to Hartig. Devon now doing a lot of poaching. Heidees there's the find, and there's Heidees getting on the board 1-0 as Hartig finds his player. 4-1 in favor of Devon.
Heidees finally on the scoreboard, and that was a really solid offensive point from them. They were calm and collected, I would say they were a little slow to begin with and a bit static, and I was afraid that that slowness from the stack, the way that they were cutting, was actually going to hurt them. But they managed to maintain that pace and maintain possession of the disc and keep a hold of it right even on the doorstep to score. Hopefully this gives them that burst of confidence that they need to get closer to the Devon scoreboard.
And that, again, as we were talking earlier, that was a lot of intelligence on their throwing and hitting the right options rather than trying to win it with their legs. They're going to lose the legs matchup if they're just trying to run, run, run. Finding options, using their throwing to get open, and they did it really well there. 4-1, finally getting on the board, as we're going to see Devon step out with their O-line for the first time in 5 points. Here we go, we're again in the second round of Swiss Draw here in the men's division of Windmill. 22 teams are here in the men's division. You got to get top 8 after 5 rounds of Swiss Draw if you want to get in the quarters. That's how it works. These teams ranked 14th and 15th at the moment. Both went down 5 points in their first game. Nice big throw as we see a poachy look from the Germans, trying to slow down Devon. I like this look because, again, winning person-to-person defense is going to be hard for them to win with this athletic matchup.
Yeah, this is a smart strategic move on their part. Slow down the Devon pace and force them to do things differently. We know they like to throw it long, so this is forcing them to throw across field to find those spaces.
We did see Sam Teo there with a beautiful cross-field scuba, so Devon showing that if you force me to play our plan B, we're doing it, but sometimes as a defender, that's what we have to do. Break past a space, and is that one going to work? It's going to count as Devon get their 5th point. 5-1 for the boys in whites.
Oh, I like that look. That was beautiful across the field into space. You had a player streaming down to get that disc and just towing the line, what could have been mere centimeters away from being out.
Great footwork there from the Devon player. So as you're saying, I think that was still good from Heidees. They did try to change up Devon's attack. Devon answered really well, but that's what you have to do on defense at this level sometimes. You're not going to get the D, but try and get them outside of their comfort zone. I think they did that well. Devon showing that they have a plan B. So now they have to figure out a way to force them into plan C and see what they can stop. But a good try there from the Heidees, as the score is now 5-1 in favor of Devon. This is a game to 15 and 70 minutes. And your games can actually be drawn here in the Swiss Draw round, so if it's tied up after 70 minutes on that final point, this game's over as well. But for this one, not looking like we're quite going to get there unless we see a big comeback from the boys in red.
Has been done before in the past. I've bear witness to that before, and I even experienced it on a team being up 8-0 and then losing by 1 point.
Oof, that is rough. And that, I believe, will not be called out. Disc is back now in Tiro's hands. Nice big gainer, John Dock almost poaching off. But Garrett to be able to hold on, now back to Tiro. Renee Hess with the disc. Hess to Tiro. Tiro pumping off options. There's Philip Kitchen trying again. Kitchen's been doing a great work on the cutting, but that's his second drop so far this game, as Devon get another chance for a break here.
It's almost like Heidees have the momentum, but they're still a bit tired, a bit weary.
And here's the big put to John Dock, and he tracks that one down easily. I believe that was a throw from Robin Cockcroft as Devon take the lead 6-1. Beautiful backhand put there. So easy for John Dock to pick that one down.
Too easy, Ravi. They made that look like it was textbook. They do that every day. I mean, that's probably part of their warm-up drill, is like throw a huck into the end zone and run it down. It's like those defenders didn't even need to be there because you're just going to shoot over them.
We see there the defender totally out of position. Great recognition from the thrower. John Doherty also playing for the Irish mixed team at this tournament, so doing double duty here. So
interesting. Is that even technically allowed?
It is
Ravi?
allowed. It's officially allowed at Windmill. You can play both divisions if you want. I don't know if I'd recommend it. It's a long tournament. It means you got to play 7 games a day, Saturday and Sunday. But if you want to, It is allowed. It is allowed here at Windmill.
Be interesting if he wore a tracker to see how many Ks, like kilometers, he had run a day. If he's actually playing 7 games.
The games are a bit shorter this year compared to normal. Usually they're 90-minute rounds. We're doing 70-minute rounds this year because it's the 15th anniversary. So the tournament organizers decided to put a little more emphasis on the festival vibe at the end of the day, give people a little more time to enjoy some live music, some circus acts, whatever they have planned. I'm sure lots of surprises will be in store at this 15th anniversary of Windmill here in Amsterdam. Heidees now have made it up to half field without much problem against this Devon defense this time. Looking good as Moritz Hartig looks for an option. Gets it over to Wolf. Wolf back to Hartig. Swinging it around now. And now Devon have pushed them back, and now we see Heidees back in this kind of stagnant stack situation. Trying to be disciplined about only letting one cut at a time, but sometimes looking just a little too stagnant for my taste. So far holding on to things. And in the last, I believe, 10 passes, they have moved back 5 meters overall. So again, Devon doing a great job of shutting down what Heidees want to do. Big hammer, but there's a lot of hand motion. I believe the Devon player will say that did not affect me in any way. So the disc will probably stay. No, it's going back.
Ravi, you mentioned that the Heidees team is a little bit stagnant for you, and I totally agree, because what I'm seeing is they're setting up their cuts way too late. They're cutting when the handler has the disc in hand, but it needs to be before that. And that's what's causing these slow issues. It's not just the fact that Devon has a great defense and they're pushing them back, but they're just slow to recognize where the disc is going and where they need to create these shapes and find that space.
And there's the stretching the field that I was talking about, but that disc is going to be too long outside of the run of Dominic Jockers, and they'll give Devon back the disc as the really big man, Sam Taylor, goes to pick it up for Devon. Totally agree with you there. And the other thing that the stagnation does for Devon, if they're not cutting before the person catches the disc, it allows Devon to figure out where the disc is, which also allows them to position themselves in a better spot to block the next cut. Whereas if motion is happening before, they're not able to keep their head on both the disc and the player. And I think it's really playing into Devon's hands. A big huck goes up from Taylor, and it goes over both Devon players. A lot of contact there. It's going to be a conversation for sure. Marcus Hahn saying uncontest with his hand signal. Here we see on the replay, disc goes up. Devon player, it seemed to me that the Devon player jumped into the Heidees player.
Yeah, I see that the Devon player jumped into the space where the Heidees player was like moving into.
But it seems like it's the other Devon player that's has the disc in his hand. So it will be an uncontested foul, as Devon will now have a short field to work with to extend their lead. Coward now doesn't like what he sees. The lefty pass to Taylor. Nice little move there from Coward to get Devon up 7-1 as they extend their lead here in this first half.
A little cheeky throw over to Taylor. I'm sure he was quite happy about it. I watched him track that disc that he threw into the end zone and just watch his players collide. Like, what is going on, lads? Like, figure yourselves out. And for him to be rectified by getting the goal must feel pretty good out there.
Taylor, I believe, is normally an offensive line player, but when you've gone up, I think, 6 breaks here in this first half, eventually your O-line player is going to have to play on some D-lines as he helps his team get another break. 7-1 the score. There'll be halftime at 8 points, and the game is to 15. So by the way things are going so far, pretty sure we're going to reach 15 in this one. It's not over yet. So how you enjoying Amsterdam so far? Did you get in last night?
Got in very late last night. Enjoyed a few of the facilities that we have here. The fire pit, got a little bit of the trampolining action in. You know, good little bit of trampolining before bedtime is always good.
Windmill, of course, much more than just a Frisbee tournament. It's a festival in itself, as you can see all the tents surrounding the field site here, as Heidees have now worked it up the field. getting open on the open side now. Disc goes up to Kitchen, able to catch it under pressure from John Doherty. Tiro with the upline cut. Kitchen doesn't hit him, instead opts for the around to Alan Gertig. Another around to Louis Nistros. There's the around pass to Kitchen. Good movement here from Heidees, staying patient. Kitchen getting just about every other pass. That's a rifle of a throw, but Heidees able to hold on to it. 7-2. Heidees not out yet here, and that was a much better offensive point than I think we've seen all game from the Heidees. Very good flow, hitting easy options, and using their legs to get open.
And they created space for each players. As you saw that final catch in the end zone that scored the point, that was a bullet shot caught by a player, but he was the only one in that space. And that's a good sign there that Heidees are now realizing that it's not just about where they're cutting and what they're doing, it's about where they're not going. They're giving space for other people to use the field and create options for the handlers.
So 7-2 the score here. Again, there'll be halftime at 8. If I remember correctly, Devon started this game on offense, so Heidees will get the disc on offense if Devon manages to score this one. Stay tuned all weekend. We got games going on, 2 games per round. Over on the other side of the game, we have Cosmic Girls versus Heist. That should be a really good one. I can see the score is 6-3. I do not know for whom is the 6. But back to here. Score 7-2 in favor of Devon as the pull is stopped there by Sam Taylor. Harry Slinger with the disc, back to Taylor. Slinger on the sideline. He slings it up to Taylor. There, Taylor with his second crossfield scoober. Very patient, very calm, very confident movement here from Devon. Not feeling the pressure at all from these Heidees players. There's a nice close bid, but Chris Red able to hold on. As Devon approach their attacking end zone. That's Coward with the disc on the sideline. There's a pick call downfield.
Devon just playing so safe and calmly. I actually find this quite unusual for them because I think they like to huck it long quite a lot. And for them, it's like, okay, we can't do that at the moment. Let's just play around with the space that we've got.
There's a nice big blading throw, and Sam Taylor catches another goal. And that'll take us to half, 8-2. The score here in favor of the boys in white from the UK. Devon over Heidees from Germany. So interesting first half here, Hillary. I think it's pretty clear that Devon had the upper hand. For me, the big difference is athleticism, but I do have to say that the throwing skill has been very impressive on Devon as well. I think the Heidees have done a good job. We've mentioned earlier in the broadcast that they've done a good job of trying to take away the primary look. Like you said, maybe they knew that Devon likes to throw it long, as you were talking about, and so they're stopping that, forcing Devon into the second option, but Devon's throwing, especially from Sam Taylor, the 2 crossfield scoobers he's had, have really opened up the field when Heidees been trying to shut things down. What do you think about this first half?
I agree. There's one thing here with Devon is their throws are disgustingly good. They are just, I mean, Taylor is just doing scoobers across field. That's unfair. That's unfair to Heidees teams because they didn't see that coming. I mean, sure, they know that Devon has these skills, but yes, we're stopping their deep threats, the long throws, but hey, I'm just going to give them some across the field shots like it's nothing. Yeah, and the problem is that because they know Devon's going to have that long shot, if they try and guard close on that crossfield one, that's going to open up the long shot they're trying to block. So I just have to say I'm very impressed with Devon here. I am curious who they lost to 15-10 in this game because so far they're looking pretty strong here in the opening phases. Devon lost to Italy. Okay. And I don't know who Heidees lost to, but I guess this game, it is a clutch game for them. But so what I want to see in this second half now is I want to see Heidees just sort of use those smart plays. They don't need to outrun them now. They know that they don't necessarily have that speed, although I don't doubt that they probably have a few men in there that can go head-to-head with them. But it's about the strategies that they bring out on the field. Playing it safe. I mean, they just had some great offensive points. Now let's lock it in on that defense and try and apply a bit more pressure.
Yeah, it has to be said that the Heidees offense has improved in the second part of this first half. I think this is a very tough mental space for both teams, because when you're up 8-2 in a normal game, you can maybe let your foot off the gas a little bit. You can rest some of your star players. You can say, okay, we just need to win the game and go out. In Windmill, it doesn't work that way. If you beat a team 15-13 that you were supposed to beat 15-5, that can pull you down later in the tournament. So Devon, and same on Heidees' side. If they lose a game 15-5 that they should be losing 15-7, 15-8, that could pull them down for where they want to be later in the tournament. So both teams have to realize that it's not about the score right now, it's about every point. And that's a really tough thing, and really something that I like about Windmill, that it takes you out of that position of just trying to win the game. No, each point is just important to last, regardless of what the scoreline is.
I think that's what I love about the Swiss draw, is that it's no longer just about whether you won or lost. It's about every single point, as you say, Ravi. And the importance behind that is there's a different mental focus that you can go into a game. Even if you're not winning the game, every point that you win matters, and it goes towards something. So it's not like, oh, we won, you know, on a universe, or we lost on a universe point. It's like, we lost on a universe point. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
great for us.
Especially if it's against like a really strong opponent that maybe you didn't think you would get that close to. That can still help you later on in the tournament. So we'll see how both of those teams apply their mental toughness for the later parts of this game, as Heidees look to start things off here in this second half. 8-2 the score for Devon right now. Kitchen with the disc in his hand. He has been one of the few players that can really match up with Devon athletically. Had a couple drops so far, but has been doing really well to get free on this very tough Devon defense. Disc is now up the sideline as that stretch deep for Kitchen. I think he's going to get it. Yes, this one will come under pressure from John Doherty. But Philip Kitchen with the score. Heidees get it to 8-3.
What a powerful way to start this second half, with Kitchen just getting that beautiful shot down the line into the end zone. That's a positive way that they need to see this game go now. Heidees have got that little momentum, that pick-me-up. They just need to follow that through with defense. Clamp down and hit Devon hard.
And that's a bit of a long shot, maybe about 40 meters down there, and that's what I was talking about before. If they can get this and make Devon respect that space, that's going to help them get open under later on in this game, and I think that's a great start for the second half. Again, the last few offensive points from Heidees have looked really good, so I think they've found their rhythm. They've figured out how to play against this tough, big Devon defense. But the question is, can they get a break? Can they stop Devon? Because I don't think Devon has given them too many chances so far this half. Maybe they haven't even turned it yet when they've started on offense. And that's where they're going to need to figure out a way to claw themselves back into this game, because I think their offense is finally clicking.
I think the only point that Devon turned it on offense, actually no, I'm getting confused. I thought it was the first point of the game, but
I think the first point of the game was a clean one.
I think that was a clean one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there haven't been too many other offensive points,
yeah,
to be honest.
I know,
So I'm pretty sure
back.
Devon's O-line has been pretty clean. There's a big arcing throw. Is he going to be able to keep it in? He is. It's Greg Mann on the sideline. Gets it up to Slinger. Little moves into the cup, as Heidees are trying to slow down Devon with the zone, but it's not really been very effective so far. Ben Hall gets it over to Taylor. You got to look out for that scuba. Not quite here yet. Sorry, it's Kyle Embley. A little bit of an overthrow, and I think that is the first mistake from the Devon offensive line, as Heidees will get a chance to break here. And this could be a big momentum shifter. I think Heidees are feeling good, looking good. If they can get this point, things could start to turn around. Score still 8-3. Hartig with the disc on the sideline. Big throw up to Fred Wolf. He catches it, and it's being called out.
Tricky to say. He did lift his foot. He tried to keep it down.
And has been retracted, is now in. Big throw to no one, as Devon will get another shot here. So Heidees getting an opportunity for a break, but squandering it there, really just to throw to no one, and that's not what you want to see if they want to try and come back into this game. Taylor again with the crossfield scuba. This one not quite as majestic as the last two, but, you know.
Still effective.
We'll still give it to him. Embley with the disc now. Taylor and Embley just giving and going. Finding the weakness here in this Heidees zone. I think it's a bit of a 2-3-2 from the Heidees. But so far, it's not really causing Devon any problems.
It's not slowing them down in any which way. I think it's actually only tiring out the Heidees players who are up on the cup more than anything.
So now they have gone to person-to-person defense. Taylor looking for options. Great find there. Oh, almost caught, but. On the doorstep now. Looking for options. There's a pass, a little bit low, but
dangerously
cut.
Low.
Nice arcing throw, and that one's going to be D'd up by Sebastian Merker. That is not the option that we want to see. We were talking about this. Their D-line offense was doing this in the beginning of the last half, trying to win on weird throws as opposed to winning with their legs. And again, they were not slowed down at all. Why did they throw that?
That was an unusual throw. I thought that was just, it was just like, I don't really care what's going to happen.
Fred Wolf looking for this disc, trying to trace it down, goes up big for it. And there's another big throw. And that one's D'd up. Nice for James Barneveld getting it back on the second chance. He had 2 chances to make a D on that play. Second time's the charm for James Barneveld.
It was something that a coach once said to us when we were down and we were trying to rush a pass. They would say, take a beat. So wait that 1 second before you release the disc. And I think that would have made a huge difference if the Heidees player had just waited a second before throwing that disc up into the air.
Sam Taylor now with the disc. Been doing a lot with his throwing so far for this Devon squad this game. Heidees have gone back into their zone. It's definitely a 2-3-2 look. So 2 men marking the disc, 3 people guarding the middles, and 2 deep. Devon have found their way through it, though. But can they keep their composure on the end zone? This is something that they're going to have to improve if they want to face against some tougher opposition later this tournament. Sam Taylor now with the disc, one of the better throwers on the team. And that's a nice find for Devon as they get their first score of the half, 9-3. There is a chat. No, it's in.
It was contentious. Heidees were originally calling that it was on the line, but I think that was a clean catch for Devon.
So 9-3 the score here. I do think Heidees has been doing a good job of forcing Devon into some more uncomfortable situations there, but squandering two break opportunities there that I think really were decision problems, rushing problems. I think that's a mental thing. You know, you're down so much in the game, like, oh, we got this opportunity, we got to do it now. You're not kind of confident. I think confidence is the thing that they were lacking there in that defensive offense point.
And the challenge as well is when you're down like this, when you have the disc, every little bit counts, but you just so badly want to score really quickly because you want to wrap this point up and you want to get to the next one because you know the clock is ticking here. And as you say, games end at 70 minutes, a draw is accepted. You know, it's no do or die. It will happen if it does. I don't think we're going to get to a draw, but for Heidees, I just want them to like settle a bit. I want them to just take the moment with the disc that they have. They've got 10 seconds. Find that really clean opportunity, that shot that's on.
So we'll see if Tiro takes your advice here and finds the nice around break to Kitchen. There's a big, big option. Is he going to get there? Alan Gertig, Kitchen to Gertig. Oh, that's going to be just out the back. I think he had to focus a little too much on his feet and couldn't quite get there.
It looked too good to be true. It was coming in so beautifully as that disc was floating down. You just see.
No, I'm not sure exactly how he dropped that one. He looked like he had his focus in the right place. Devon now with the disc for another chance at a break. Disc is up to Doherty now. Doherty's going to put it deep. That's going to float a lot. There's going to be a lot of bodies under this one. Who's going to come up with it? Oh, it is number 31, Greg Mann with the disc.
So nonchalantly just throws it away. Like, I've got this, guys. This is mine. And Heidees were down there putting that pressure on, but just didn't have the height to match up against the Devon player.
Here we're going to see the big put from John Doherty. So many people under this disc.
He goes up at the same time as a Heidees player, but has that extension in his legs to get a little bit higher.
And I'm sorry, that is Gary Coward who has that grab. Definitely want to make sure he gets all the credit that he deserves for this one. Going to see here from the far angle. Just a great read there by Coward, and he has to go up super high.
And over the top of two Heidees players as well. His height's certainly playing an advantage there, those long arms. There is a body type that is quite useful for ultimate, but it's tough to mark people who are so tall. Ravi, you're not the tallest person.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You're tall,
whoa.
but you're not the tallest person on the grounds here today.
Debatable.
If you were marked up against a taller person, how would you defend that when you're in the air?
Yeah, I think the defender did all he could there. He got the right position and went up early to try and force a tough thing, but it was just a great read there by Coward. Nothing much he could do against that one. Heidees now trying to get themselves back into this one. I think the score is 10-3 now, but Devon nice inside break. A bit stagnant here on the Devon offensive side, looking like Heidees all of a sudden. But now they're working it up. Ooh. That's a big bid, but I think that one's going to be out of bounds.
I think he waited on that too long. I'm not sure if he could have gotten that earlier or just thought, I'm going to get that right on the edge.
Great bid, but unfortunately out of the sideline as Fred Wolf puts up a big disc. And Martin Hahn not able to get that one as Devon get another shot here to extend their lead. Big disc now. Up to Chris Red, and Chris Red doesn't have to do anything for that one, just right into his hands. Great space on that throw as Devon score again.
Double happiness for Chris Red. He gets the block and then he gets the score. I mean, it's too easy for Devon at the moment. They're having so much fun. You can see that out on the field. And I just want Heidees to feel the same way. I just want them to come here and enjoy it.
I'm sure they're still having a good time out there. It's Windmill. Everybody's having a great time.
You can't not have fun.
But they're going to have to change things up a little bit.
And what we've been saying is no different. It's still the same, isn't it? It's like there's nothing new that they could really pull out. It's just more about like the way that they compose themselves with the disc. We saw an easy drop earlier from Heidees, and I think it was just a moment of a lapse in concentration, and it just slipped through the hand. Heidees with the disc, looking for options, a high stall count, but they managed to center it and get it off. We get a run through block, a little tip, and Devon shoot long.
We got Kitchen versus Doc here. Oh, and Kitchen comes up with it. Great play by the German.
That was an excellent read from Kitchen because he left his player and went deep to get that block.
Great stuff by the blonde-haired German as Heidees try to get things going a bit here. Devon with a very interesting defensive look. A lot of switching, a lot of positional defense here, not afraid to give the thrower an unmarked set for a few counts. Trying to focus a lot on stopping the downfield movement. Almost a Japanese-style defense here from the boys in white. Hans Tiro taps it in with no mark. So far surveying the field, not liking what he sees. Bela Lux with the disc. One of the two brothers. Hans Tiro. Big disc up looking for Kitchen, but John Dock's going to peel off and just be in front of everybody as Kitchen bails out on that one.
Neither one of them had the legs. What was that, Ravi? They both peeled away and just let that opportunity go?
Yeah, I thought Kitchen had a good shout on that disc, especially with the matchup on the other side of the field. But John Doherty getting in front and now receiving the disc off of that big hammer. Big huck from John Doherty. Jake Warren with the big grab on the doorstep now. And Warren with the score as Devon get their lead up to 12-3. Nice throws there from Devon. They're stretching the field. They're throwing across, deep, under, whatever Heidees are giving them. It's just been great play so far from Devon.
Yeah, this has been a really great game for them. Not only did the sun come out, but they just brought so much intensity to their throws and trying different things. Different types of defense. Not letting the Heidees, plays affect them. They continue to play their own game and enjoy it. And that's the mark of a good team, that they're not going to get struck by changes in the way that people, do things on the field, the way that they set up their defense or even their offense.
So Heidees here trying to get themselves into a better position, get a few more points. I think the win is probably out of the question with the amount of time that's left, but still, like we said, Swiss draw. Oh, and an unfortunate drop there by Davide Legassi, an Italian playing for the Heidees, and Devon with another break, 13-3. Ben Donahue there getting the score. Ten-point deficit here. And again, we have to say that the Heidees offense has slipped a bit back into what we saw in the first bit of this game. A bit of errors, a bit more stagnation, not really getting the movement they would like. Devon clamping down a bit more on defense.
When I was speaking to the Devon team before this match, I was asking them what they might change up after losing to Italy. I thought, is there anything that you would take to this next game? And they'd said that they hadn't actually matched up with this German side before, so they were just going to go in with what they had been doing before, which I think has just played to them. Like, let's not try and change it, right before a game. Let's just be ourselves. And I think that's what we're seeing out here. Devon is just playing their own game. Heidees have just gotten struck by it. And I'm not sure if it's an element of a large roster. There's lots of different, chemistry and bonding that you need to build amongst the players.
Heidees are a team that has a bit more turnover than usual. I do see a lot less of the key players that I'm used to on this squad, but a deep team, a deep club. Big throw there to Tiro. And that's going to be eaten up by the Devon player. As there, Robin Cockcraft gets the disc, puts a big winding throw, and that's going to work out. Oh, just a bit of a drop there. Maybe he had too much time to think about it. Caught a little bit of the sun there. And Heidees with another shot here to try and close the gap a little bit. Hans Tier gets the disc. And that's going to be out of the hands of his receiver, and Devon with a very short field to work with to get themselves 1 point away from victory if they can score this one. On the doorstep, and that's going to be an easy score for Devon as they take the lead 14-3, just 1 point away from finishing up this round mighty early here, the second round of Swiss draw play at Windmill.
This is not the game that we thought was going to happen here. Both teams, I mean, it's early on in the draw, but they were neck and neck in that ladder, and I thought this would have been quite a tight matchup. So the way that this has gone is, you know, it surprised me, Ravi.
Well, things get more and more clear as the Swiss draw goes on. The games get tighter and tighter as the algorithm, the almighty algorithm, gets you into the position where you're supposed to be as it gets more and more data put into it. So Devon will be pretty happy if they can finish this one out pretty quickly here, and will definitely face a much stronger opponent. Heidees on the other side will probably get pretty far down after this one. This will also be very helpful for Italy, as Italy defeated Devon 15-10, so Devon with a big victory here will also help to bolster that victory that Italy had before will look even better. As Heidees continue things here, going out of a side stack, trying to change things up a little bit from the offenses we've seen. And it's worked out so well. A lot of good movement, a lot of, like you said, they're not, like you said before in this broadcast, they're not cutting after the disc is caught, they're cutting before, but they're just a run through D. The athleticism on the Devon side is just too much for Heidees to handle. And though the offensive formation's there, defensive formation has been good, it's been just a matter of athleticism as I thought it was going to be over there. But you asked before what I would do as a, I mean, that guy's not a shorter defender, but what you do as a shorter defender there is you jump up early and then you kind of get in the head of the person you're defending, make them think, oh, I got to go up early, otherwise it's going to get D'd, and then flows over both of your heads. That's a nice, what we call the short man D in the United States sometimes. Jump early, see if you can force them to go early.
Yeah, confuse your player, stress them out a little bit, think that they need to go up, and that was an example of a misread on a disc, which unfortunate for the Devon side. So the game continues.
We're still here. Visible frustration from the Heidees handler, but he's able to find the inside break. Nice movement, fakes the huck. That's going to work with Marcus Hahn on the disc. Legacy with the disc back now. Very short option. Looking for a way to score into the end zone. Nice around over to Hartig. And Hartig continues that around, and great footwork there from Connor O'Brien. Americana is his nickname, as Heidees are not done yet, as the score is now 14-4.
Heidees still playing, still in it, but Devon now going to be coming out in offense. This is probably...
And though there have been a few errors from this Devon offense, I do not believe there's been a break yet. They've still managed to score every point that they've started on offense. Not that there's been that many of them, but they have been 100% on that stat. So Heidees going to have to throw something up, throw something interesting, try and slow them down. I do like their zone looks. I do like that, but the problem is with Sam Taylor's scoobers, makes it hard. It makes it hard.
When you've got somebody who can just do so much and you can just say, all right, you're shutting down one option for me, that's okay. I'm going to do the other option. You won't give me anything vertical, I'll go horizontal. How do you like that?
Yeah, like we were trying to say before, well, Devon have the legs on Heidees. Let's try to force them into a throwing game. And Devon has had a few errors, it has to be said, especially in their red zone offense, and I think that's something they really need to clean up to advance to later stages of this tournament. Here, they haven't needed to because they've been able to get the disc back. But it has to be said, especially when Sam Taylor gets the disc, because he's going to be bringing this one in. He's shown that if, okay, you play a defense that makes us win with our throws, well, here are my throws.
And we'll see him come up with the disc.
It does look like Heidees have gone to a match defense. We do see Hans Tiro poaching off in the middle of the field. So it seems to be person-to-person on the handlers with a bit more of a poachy set downfield.
It's quite an interesting matchup, Taylor and Luksh.
Definitely a big size disparity between the two players, at least in breadth and
muscle mass.
No, not as much in the height. Still a bit of a mismatch on height, but definitely more in mass. Devon now working it up easily.
Taylor
and
has
a bit of a miscue there. And Heidees with, I think, one of their better opportunities they've had so far to try and get a break. Tiro now over to Luksh, the 15-year-old, against the experienced Taylor. Gets it up the field to his brother, and that'll be a score. No, it'll be a pick.
Yeah, suspiciously free is always a sign something went on beforehand.
Especially against his team as athletic as Devon. They're not usually that far away from you. Luksh gets it to Tiro. Does not continue the swing to Kitchen. Now finds Kitchen on the sideline. Kitchen tries for the give-go. Devon doing a really good job of a switch there to stop that play. Tiro trying to use his craftiness. Finds Kitchen on the sideline, now on the doorstep. Devon happy to give that easy swing, that easy dump back, and try and stop the continuation throw. But Tiro, with his crafty throwing, is just winning the game with his hands as Heidees get their first break of the game late here to make it 14-5.
Tiro taking a card from Taylor's playbook, just throwing a few little nifty things out there, you know, in the final moments of this game. That was an unusual moment, though. There was a turn from Devon, a miscommunication. It's like we almost cursed them a little bit. We both were kind of up here saying this game is about to end, about to wrap up, based on what we've seen in every single offensive Devon point.
Yeah, but again, it has to be said, I mean, of course, credit to Heidees for scoring that one. That was a Devon unforced error. That was not because Heidees shut them down or made it difficult or something like that. It was just a miscommunication. The thrower thought Taylor was going to cut back. Taylor was not ready to cut back, and it ended up with a turn. But Heidees capitalizing there. Now you say Tiro taking from Taylor's playbook. I've been watching European Ultimate long enough to know that that's Tiro's playbook. That's Tiro's playbook. Taylor is borrowing from Tiro's playbook if anyone's doing anything. But anyways.
Thank you for clarifying that, Ravi. I'm glad you're here to back players up.
Tiro's been doing that for years. Okay, now Taylor's back with the disc. Little high release flick to the break side. He is impressing me a lot with his throws, though. Every different throw in the book. That's a big, long look. And I think that one, just a bit too far. I didn't, from my angle, it looked like Gary Coward was going to be able to chase that one down, but.
He was tracing it nicely. I thought he was actually coming in on quite a good angle and was going to get there, but perhaps he didn't want to push himself too much.
Again, you have to wonder if this game was closer, would he have pushed harder for it? And that's, again, Windmill. Every game, every point counts the same, so that's that mental difference. When you're up 14-5, it's just as important as when you're 14-14 in this format. So Heidees now with another chance to break. There's a big throw from Hartig, but I don't think that one's going to come back in. So Devon's going to have a very short field to work with and try and put this game away. One more point left for the boys in white. It's going to be in the safe hands of Taylor, which is so dangerous for this Heidees defense. I mean, what can you do to defend him? He can put the disc wherever he wants.
It's almost like, is it worth marking him? Because he doesn't feel the pressure of a marker. Can you back off and maybe block some space or something? Like, what would you do? Well,
Hartig is not taking your advice here, putting on a very strong mark. So far, interesting little soft touch throw to Coward. Coward swings it across to Taylor. Taylor back to Taylor. That's Phil Taylor and Sam Taylor. Oh, what a way to end this game. What an exciting catch there off of that hammer as Devon have won this game 15-5. The boys from Devon against Heidelberg Heidees. What do you think about this game, Hillary?
Well, Devon, they are showmen, if you will. I mean, finishing off this game, one for the highlight reels. They had to lay it out with a scuba from Taylor. I mean, a hammer from Taylor. That is just audacity at its best. They love showing off Not quite the result that I was expecting. I thought it was going to be a closer game, but well played, and I'm so grateful that the sun came out. Ravi, can you wrap us up?
Yes, that was a great game from Devon. We're going to close things out here for the second round of Swiss Draw. If you guys want to watch some more Ultimate before the next round, the other stream is still going on, Cosmic Girls vs. Heist, so feel free to go to our YouTube page or Facebook page and get onto that one. I'm sure it's a great game between two very good powerhouses, Women's Ultimate. For Windmill here, I've been Ravi and with Hillary, and we will see you in the next round. I got to warm up.